Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Friday, May 4th. Today I'll be reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 9 through 17. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has a greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because a servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You do not choose me, but I choose you. And I appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I'm giving you these commands so that you may love one another. Love is to be seen above all, and the love of the Father has shone forth in love of the Son. Our thoughts are intentionally directed back to the announcement of the depth of God's love for the world as evidenced in the giving of his Son. It is the interconnected and unfolding message of John's Gospel. It is if every word and every passage mutually interpreted one another. Using a modern analogy, one might imagine that every word in the Gospel were hyperlinked to each other, every other word in the gospel, so that clicking on one word necessarily explodes and expands into every other word and its commentary and framing and meaning and understanding. The abiding relationship of vine and branches in previous reading culminates in the bearing of much fruit, and is now given further delineation in terms of love. If abiding is not for its own sake, but has an end or a purpose, now that purpose takes shape in love. Love is the fruit of the abiding relationship of the Father and the Son, just as it is of the Son and those who follow his words. These words of Jesus are characterized in this lesson of Jesus' commands. Consistent with John's just as theology, even these commands which Jesus calls upon his disciples to keep are simply an extension of the commands of the Father, which Jesus has already kept. If love for one another is the goal of abiding in Jesus' love, then the model for that self-giving love is stated clearly with the memorable beginning words of the second section in verse 10. There is no greater love than shown in the giving of one's life for one's friends. Though this stated in general terms, the laying down of one's life is pointed reference to God's giving of the Son, and in the narrative, an only slightly veiled reference to anticipation of the passion and death of Jesus on the cross. The power of God's great love in Jesus, confirmed in Easter's promise of the resurrection, also has its frame of reference and its power in Jesus' giving of his life on the cross. Jesus now speaks of the power of that giving of life to transform the disciples' relationship and calling into a new status. These disciples are no longer to be counted as servants, but as friends. In the cross and resurrection, they have come to know what is this greater love, and has power to accomplish in them through their unity in the abiding relationship with Jesus and the Father. Jesus' words now makes it further clear that the power to respond to his command to love one another comes from Jesus' own prior love and calling. I have called you. I have chosen you. I have appointed you. Remember, you're always invited to worship with us on Sundays at 10:30 at the Goodland United Methodist Church. First, this Saturday on May 5th, we will have a church garage sale indoors in our fellowship hall at the corner of 11th and Sherman from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So come and check out the hidden treasures that you may find at our garage sale. Have a blessed day.